Now, has anybody ever had this experience? I know you have. I know, like when you were a kid, and you were with your neighborhood friends perhaps, and you were maybe doing something that you weren't supposed to be doing, and you're having a deep conversation about it. In fact, you're actually strategizing a little bit about it. And let's say, like in my case, it was jumping off a cliff into a quarry. And it was a grand and great idea. And we kind of knew it was a safe area, that it was deep, that the water was deep and that we could do it. But boy, that cliff was high. It was high. And so on the precipice, on the edge of that cliff, who's going to go first? Right? I bet you were saying, you first. You go first. How about you? You go first. And I'll be right behind you. Right? Right? What we teach here is that this is a you go first proposition. You first. You first. Now, if enough of us accept that, you first, we'll all be going in together. We'll all be holding hands and jumping in together. And what I can tell you is that it'll be grand and glorious because we were not meant to do it alone. Not at all. And so when I look in the mirror, when you look in the mirror, I love that song. It's always the perfect springboard for a conversation, So I'm going to start with the man, the woman in the mirror, the person in the mirror. And my question to you is, who is that you see when you look in the mirror? Who is it that you see? And what you see, what we all see, or, every day when we look in a mirror, we see a reflection. We see a reflection of form. And so what we teach here at Unity is that form is manifestation. And that all form and all manifestation comes first from mind. It comes first from an idea held in mind. And so when you first look at that image in the mirror, you see yourself. And most of us see the form. And most of us see a personality form. A form that is attached with a history and a certain look that you gotta upkeep, right? A certain role. And most of us tend to look in the mirror and remember our role, and then we begin to adjust our appearance to fit that role. But if we can remember that what we're looking at is not really form, that back of the form there is an idea. And initially what you see in the mirror is your idea of you, your manifestation of the personality, of the human experience, the body, if you will, that you are. But I'm going to ask you the next time that you look in a mirror to look a little bit deeper, to again go, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And to look beyond the form that you have attributed to this being, and to remember that even back of that there is another idea, a grander idea. It is the idea that is still held eternally in the mind of God of who you are. And who you are, who each of you is, who I am, is divine, is an expression of the divine, an idea in the mind of God. And God doesn't make mistakes. And God creates like and of itself, because we say that God is all that there is. And so if God is all there is, then what does that make you? Who does that make you? Now, in our community, because we want to anthropomorphize, we'll say, well, I'm a beloved and holy child of God. But I would tell you that's what you are. The who of your being never changes. The who of you are is formless, is eternal. is life, is beauty. And catch this one, Kay Ellen, what she read this morning. You know, if you were taught that you were unworthy, if you were taught that you were fundamentally flawed, that you came into it fundamentally flawed, at the core of your being, that's not what we're teaching. What we are teaching is that the who of you are is perfect, whole, and complete. And so, as we look in the mirror, as we go, me first, you first, us first, we begin with ourselves and we look in the mirror and we remember who we are. And we look at the reflection beyond the form, and we begin to see the light around the edges of the form that we see. We begin to see the light illuminating from the eyes, and the body begins to be less solid. And then the truth of who you are, that feeling tone, that emanation of light and love, will, like the Christ, like Jesus, precede you into a room. Because as a vibratory being, the who you are goes before you. People feel it. They sense it as you are in integrity and in alignment with that remembrance. And so continuing on this, that's the who you are. And then the what you are. What you are is that holy and beloved child of God that we here call the Christ. And what is that? That is the emanation of love, the extension and expression of God as love, as you. That's the what you are. That's the Christ of your being. You are in form, in this experience as Christ. And as Christ, you abide right now in perfect safety. Yeah, right now. Now, it's easy to know that here. But boy, walking around in the world that you see, where you see all that need, remembering, oh, yeah, I am the divine in expression as Christ. I abide in perfect safety. And like our Creator, it's done as we decree. So that beginning with the man in the mirror, the one in the mirror, is to remember who you are and what you are. And the what you are is powerful. The what you are is that you get to choose love or fear every single moment. You have choice. And we teach here that our goal is to choose love moment by moment by moment by moment. So how do we change? Like the song so brilliantly says, we begin with ourselves. We don't manipulate the mirror. If I'm looking in the mirror, I don't, I want to fix the hair. I'm going to fix the hair. I'm going to put on the lipstick. I apply principle to myself, to my mind, to the only thing that I can change. It's the only thing we can change. And so I want to change the words. I think Michael would be cool with this, perhaps. That you are the mind in the mirror. That you are the mind in the mirror. And so, who are you to pretend not to see a need? The title of this conversation today is The Heart of Service. And in our reading, it says, your giving completes your receiving. And so, we are here in this expression, in this experience to serve, that we may keep what we received. It's our nature. And why is it our nature? Because true service is a you first thing again. You got to go first. You first. You got to start with yourself. You serve all of creation. You serve those that you perceive to be in need by awakening within your own mind, by waking up in your own consciousness. And the reason we serve is because it can't be done alone. Like the kids trying to decide who's going to jump first. We really hold one another's hand and go together. That we really don't awaken alone. That the awakened beings are assisting us now so that we can remember and join them. That is why we are receiving so many messages, so many channeled messages right now of truth. Because they are whispering in our ears, grow, remember, remember. And the signs are there to lead us. And so we're always serving the reflection of the need that you think you see. So remember, when we see a need in the outer world, that it's really a gift for us to remember whatever that need represents to you, to remember truth, to remember who you are, what you are, and how you serve. But to do that for your brother and sister as well. That the only thing that can change is mind. And when we change our mind, our seeing shifts. Can I have the first slide, Tony? Thanks. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Principal, Wayne Dyer. Love Wayne Dyer. He's whispering now. Grow, remember, we're still here. Awaken with me. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that is why we begin within. We begin within our own consciousness. And so it's not our nature to pretend that we don't see it. That's not our human nature. Our divine nature, and what was modeled by Jesus as the Christ, was that to look beyond the appearance. To look beyond the appearance to the wholeness. To look beyond the appearance to the higher need, which is in mind, which is to remember who and what we are. And any need that we think that we see is our opportunity to recognize it, to look at it, to pick it up and ask, what does this teach me? How can I forgive my misperception? And how can I remember this as a representation of what seems to be lacking that leads me to the remembrance of wholeness? And as I do that for myself, I do that for others. So our mission here says that we're a thriving, vibrant spiritual community, that we are here to empower personal transformation by living this truth within. The key is that we begin with ourselves and live that which we speak of here. You first. Transforming the world is a you first proposition. You cannot give what you do not know yourself to have. You must know yourself to have that which you think others need. Begin with you first. And so how we serve and why we serve and what is service. Because we are one, because we are unity, our service reminds us that we are connected with one another. Our service gets us outside our own self and our own thinking. And so this is what service is. It is remembering that we are related, even to those who you don't think you ever could be. So how do we serve? We serve from knowing the who we are, the divine of your being, the what you are as Christ. And we serve from that. It's not separate. When we serve from that divine identity, we're already one. And the prayer is for you. It's divinely selfish. It's divinely selfish. And how do you know where to be in service? The next slide, hon. If we feel there is a work to do, we may be certain. What does it say? We are the ones to do it. Haven't you ever said, why don't they? You first. If it's calling you, the root word in compassion is passion. You can be certain that what you are passionate about is your area of service. Your heart is calling you. So here's the deal. If you truly believe in peace, and we say that we believe in peace, then you be the peacemaker wherever you go. We know this, right? We hear this. That was in Make Me a Channel of Your Peace, the prayer of St. Francis. Find ways to forgive the wars that are inside of you. Bring it home. Me first, you first. If you truly believe in love, find ways to love the unlovable. That which you find unlovable, find ways to love the unlovable. Give love to the one who seems to be hateful, remembering it's a cry for love. If we meet hate with hate, we're just going to get hate. The only answer is love. If you believe in a world that works for everyone, which we say here, start speaking out for the social issues that are calling your heart. If you believe that God is all there is and everywhere present and in everyone and everything, this is how you serve. You start treating each person like you know who they are and what they are, the divine. Start treating the ground that you stand on as holy. Start treating your body like a temple. Start speaking with love. The call of your heart is leading you to where you need to heal and know the truth for you, that you may serve others from that truth, that you may keep and complete your receiving. The meaning or the secret of life, the next slide. Life's inmost secret is the divine pattern in you, which you can only really know when you are giving yourself in service. If you want to know life's secret, serve others. See what it shows you. And who are you in service to? We'll do the next two. Just go through them. You are here to serve the great law of life. So we think that we're serving an organization. We think that we're serving an entity. We think that we're serving individuals who have less. Remember, they are a gift to you. They are your teacher as well. And remember, you are serving life itself. You are, in fact, in service to the supreme creative idea that proliferates our environment. You're in service to love, to all that is. It is the life of God that is thinking through your mind, working through your hands, walking through your feet. You are the arms of God, the eyes, the ears, the soft, loving word, sometimes the firm truth in the midst of a misperception. It does the work appointed for you. So life will bring you what you need, and then it does the work for you. So you're in acceptance and flow and allowing life. That's what you're serving. And it perfects that which concerns you when you no longer work for the little self, but serve the greater self of your being in the universe. You serve from who you are and what you are. You are divine. You are the Christ. And you serve from that consciousness, and you serve others whom you know to be that as well. And then finally, back to Wayne. Service is a state of mind that expresses love rather than fear, trust rather than distrust. So what are you serving from? Are you serving from the lack, from the need that you perceive, or are you serving from the love and from the trust that all is well beyond what you're perceiving in this moment? It is a focusing on meeting all others as equals with whom we share spiritual identity. The inner attitude of love reveals itself in action. We did a training of the amazing usher and greeter team yesterday. And what we led with wasn't the law of how to be an usher and a greeter. We led with the spirit of it. What are we here to be and do? The spirit of the heart That when you welcome someone or you bring them to their seat, it isn't the letter of the law that is important. It's the consciousness, the spirit within which we do it, which is what that was saying. So what I know is that we had an example of an awakened Christ in this experience called Jesus. And look at what one awakened master in this experience did. And the vibration of that and the, what do you call it when you drop a pebble in the pond? The ripple of that, of sending our love out. So how did he do that? How did he serve? When I reflect upon this, it's because he knew who he was. He knew what he was, and he followed his passion, which was to demonstrate that you are not a body, but that you are life expressing as God. Now, in the midst of that, of following that, miracles occurred, and people were served. But it was coming from that who, what, and that desire of his heart. So what's the desire of your heart? Jesus has already done Jesus, right? Gandhi's done Gandhi. Martin Luther King's done Martin Luther King. It's time for us to do us, you, uniquely. You first, be first. And don't try to be somebody else. So the whole point of this is to serve from your heart, not what you think you should do, not what I say you ought to do or where we have a perceived need, but to serve from your heart. What's pulling at your heartstring? What's whispering in your ear? And trust me, there is a gift in there for you to give so that you can complete your receiving and that you be a part of that web of relationship of life.